Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of this podcast. And first of all, I want to apologize for not posting any episode for a while, but hopefully they will be back each month. Today, the book that I'm bringing to you is To Kill a Mockingbird, um, and the author of this book is Harper Lee. For this episode, I had to search more about the writer because I only knew the name for this book. Now, Harper Lee was an American novelist from the end of the 20th century and beginning of the 21st century. The book was published in 1960, and this was a period marked by the civil rights movements against segregation, and it was an important time of history. And some of the main themes explored by the book are racism, justice, inequality, among others. So the story takes place in 1930s in South America, Alabama State, in the fictional town of Macomb County, and during a time marked by the Great Depression and the world was living in a world crisis. During this period, there was also a generation gap due to change after World War One and also the economic crisis. This gap can be noticed through the difference in Attica's perspectives, one of the main characters, the children's point of view that I will later explore. To Kill a Mockingbird tells the story of a girl named Jen Louise, also known as Scott, and he, she is the character the book is centered in, and also the narrator of the story. Scott is a curious girl and questions everything, even the ones that are not considered political correct. The story takes place over the course of 3 years, so Scott goes from 6 to 9 years old, and during this period, she learns a lifetime's worth of lessons. Scott is raised in a small town together with her elder brother, Jeremy Finch, also called Jem, and with her father, Atticus Finch. He is a widow and also a lawyer. So Jeremy is going, Jem, sorry, is going from 10 to 13 years old, and his character represents the idea of bravery in the book and will also deal with several issues as part of growing up and entering into young adulthood and living childhood. Something it does not confirm to is the injustice that is lived in a trial where Tom Robinson is accused, as you will later understand. Throughout the story, Atticus tries to pass his children values such as justice, empathy, and respect for others. And Scott's father is going to be in charge of defending a black man who lives in the town, Tom Robinson, who is unfairly accused of raping a young white girl, also known as Mayella Ewell. Since that moment, Jam and Scott have to deal with their neighbors and the other people of the town, together with their racial insults about their father's role in the trial. So, this was something that, at the eyes of society, was seen as a bad choice and a not appropriate one. Tom Robertson is accused of raping Mayella Ewell, and he is husband to Ellen Robinson and also a father. He is the symbol, he represents the mockingbird that is in the title of the book, and is a symbol used to describe that innocence is killed by evil, in this case by the tribe. Bob and Mayella Ewell are part of the Ewell's family that everyone dislikes in Macomb County. Without any respect for anything or anyone, Bob is an alcohol dependent where he spends all his money is alcohol. He testifies that he saw Tom Robinson raping his daughter, an unhappy teenage girl with only 19 years old. We could think this is the main important event in the book. However, this scene represents only a small part compared to the rest of the book. During the trial, Atticus gives evidence to prove Tom Robinson's innocence, but would be this enough? to prevent the charged man to be arrested and prove Mayela Ewell is lying with the help of her father. I will not be the one answering the question. You will need to read the book. So now I may not want to focus a lot of synopsis because I was afraid I will be giving any kind of spoiler. So let's just moving to the learnings and what could I um, extract from the book. So the first theme the book is centered in is justice or law, and this is mainly represented through the trial scene. Even though clear evidence was presented to prove Tom Robinson was innocent, the jury interpreted that evidence by their prejudice instead of by the law. So here I'm giving some clues, but I'm not giving a spoiler. And I think this book represents this small scene, a criticism of the law system and how laws should be applied in different ways to different people. And this is even an opinion defended by Atticus Finch. The next topic is social inequality. Um, so in Makeup County, we can notice clearly a social hierarchy. So there was the place where colored and white people lived in several different conditions. Also, the religious practice is different. So black people would go to different church than white people. And not we can see this hierarchy not only between colored people and white people, but also among farmers and townspeople. So you have the Finch's neighborhood, the Cunninghams, and the Ewells. So the three different families have three different conditions. And beside the social inequality, there was also a clear prejudice and racism by the people of town. And the one easy example is when Atticus accepts to take the case and defend Tom Robinson, and people start commenting with disdain and not respecting Atticus' choice. And even his children were targets of accusations by society, and the lawyer is seen as disgracing his family just by defending an innocent black man. And I think for this reason, this character, Atticus Finch, is a very respectful man who acts against the current, defending racial equality and putting his reputation and his place within the community, to defend one man. And there's a scene where Scott even asks their father why is he doing something that he shouldn't be doing. If I didn't, I couldn't hold up my head in town. I couldn't represent this county in the legislature. I couldn't even tell you and Jem not to do something again. So here it shows the importance of examples, not only saying something, but showing it with our own example. And in this book, there's also the role of family. We can see the relationship between father and sons or fathers and daughters through Atticus and Scott and Atticus and Jam, their relationships. And even the fact of not having a mom, they are orphans. Um, and showing how much they miss her, especially Jam because he's the one who remembers most of of her. And with the help of neighbors and their present family, they are still capable of growing. Another topic that I find super important is moral education. So this book reveals how important it is to educate children about the questions that arise among society and to explain the different struggles, the different opinions. And along the story, we have direct access to Scott's education, like her perspectives and how she grows up and changes her vision of the world. And I think this is what I enjoyed most in this book is um, following Scott's steps into growing up and gaining a new perspective of the world. And I think the role of Atticus Finch and Calpurnia, that is the maid of the Finches, when they try to explain the situations that are lived in a Macon town, how important their role is for the children's education. So every chance is an opportunity for Atticus Finch to implement in their children social consciousness and respect for the others, especially empathy. And there's several episodes throughout the story. And one episode is I think I'm not giving you the episode, but like a sentence. So Atticus tries to pass his children the value of empathy and understandings and the importance of not judging and trying to understanding the other person. So in chapter 3, Atticus says, first of all, if you can learn a simple trick, Scott, you'll get along better with all kinds of folks. You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view. And I think I really enjoyed this sentence of the book, and I think it's not, it's still, it still is important for us in our days, in our society, to develop our empathy and our respect for others, despite skin color, religious choices, um, different kind of opinions in different topics. I think it is important to respect each one's decisions. Another attitude of Atticus on his children in is attitudes concerning guns. That is still a debate topic in especially United States. When Atticus finds himself forced to kill an uncontrolled dog, Jem and Scott find their father's hidden talents with guns. But at the same time, it is a skill that he intends to keep it disguised. And Mr. Finch claims that he prefers his children to shoot at only tin can. I would rather you shot at tin cans in the backyard. But now, but no, you will go after birds. Shoot all the blue jays you want if you can hit them. But remember, it is a sin to kill a mockingbird. So Atticus believes that having a gun does not symbolize courage because it automatically gives a person an advantage related to a defenseless animal. So I think it's so important to have to bear this in mind for anyone. So I really recommend this book. It's not so difficult to read. I did not read in my maternal language. I read it in English, but it was kind of easy, and I really enjoyed reading the book and to like extract all these learnings that I can apply in nowadays in our society in my daily attitudes. So I really hope you have the opportunity to read this book. And yeah, see you next episode. If you want to share any comments or leave any the like, thank you very much for your attention and for this time. Bye.